pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. We will call this meeting to order. It is an irregular time tonight. A couple of weeks ago, we had mentioned that we were going to push our meeting back at 7 p.m. Can I get a roll call, please?
Michael Cashman.
Present.
Thomas Wood, he's here, but he's somewhere in the building.
Yep.
Meg LaFave.
Here.
Barb Hebert.
Here.
Charles Costa.
Here.
James Coffey.
Here.
And Rick Collins.
Can I, Resolution 151, approve the minutes of the previous meeting?
Resolved that the minutes of August 15th and August 22nd, 2019 be approved and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Is there a motion? Caustic, is there a second?
Second.
Lefebvre, that was rather unenthusiastic.
I really wanted to be first.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Any discussion?
I wasn't here.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Does carry. Is there anything for public comment this evening? Seeing none, we will move right forward. Resolution 152, Abstract 9B-19.
Resolved that the abstract of audited claims number 9B-19, 1757 through 1859 for $364,406.43. An abstract 9B-19, 279 to 291 prepays in the amount of $1,164,365.34 be received as reviewed by the audit committee, and the supervisors hereby authorized to pay said abstract.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, is there any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 153, monthly department reports.
Resolved to receive and place on file the monthly department head reports, building and grounds, highway superintendent, park and recs for June, July, and August, safety committee, September, water and wastewater for August, codes and zoning, August, planning and community development, September, supervisor's financial report, August, and town clerk for August.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Lefebvre, more enthusiasm this time, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Caustic, is there any discussion?
Rick, if, with your assistance, could you follow the dog patrol officer? We made a request a little while ago to get a report.
I asked him, and he said that he would do so.
Okay, appreciate it.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 154, 3% site plan, return deposit for Glens Falls National Bank site plan and SUP 2018.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Planning Board has reviewed and approved all requirements of Glen Falls National Site Plan and Special Use Permit 2018. Whereas the Planning and Community Development Department has coordinated said inspections of said project and reports all requirements have been met and completed. Now therefore be resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to release of the said deposit in the amount of $3,275.25 plus accrued interest to date. And it be further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be forwarded by the Planning and Community Department Secretary with the return of deposit to Glens Falls National Bank.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Lefebvre, is there a second?
Second.
Caustic, any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 155, tentative budget filed for 2020.
Whereas the 2020 tentative budget for the town of Plattsburgh will be duly filed on September 27th, 2019 in the town clerk's office. Now therefore be resolved that the town board, town of Plattsburgh, does hereby receive and place on file the 2020 tentative budget from the town clerk per town law, section 106-3. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Costick, is there any discussion?
I move to table.
Is there a second to move the table?
Second.
Okay, one second, please. Discussion on the item.
I think that when we present a budget, that we should present everything. And since we can talk about this next week in terms of salary increases for the counselors, that it should be in the budget ahead of time so that people can look at the tentative budget and see what's there, and if they have complaints or if they have questions, they can ask them. I don't agree with adding something later on. I want to see it at the beginning and then do it. And the other thing is, the counselors, as well as supervisor, have not received any raise for a number of years. And it's been over 5 years or 6 years now that we reduced our salary. I don't necessarily mean that we need to increase it by a large amount, but I do feel that we should have it increased at least as much as our employees when we give them a raise. So I think it needs to be talked about, and I don't think I do not want to approve this week, because I would like to see that money go into the tentative budget first, and we haven't had a chance to talk about it.
Other discussion? Other discussion? Motion on the floor is to table this resolution. There is a first and there is a second. The motion is only to table the item. Can I get a roll call on whether or not to table this?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Mike Osmer.
No. Okay, the item will be tabled until next week. Resolution 156, junkyard license renewal for 28 Flanagan Drive.
Whereas the town clerk has received an application and fees for a license to operate a junkyard business at 28 Flanagan Drive. Whereas Steve Imhoff, Code Enforcement Officer, has completed his inspection of the junkyard, and the application is not now complete in compliance. Now therefore be resolved that the town board, town of Plattsburgh, does hereby receive and place on file said application and authorize the town clerk to issuance of the junkyard license to the aforementioned applicant in compliance with the letter issued by Steve Imhoff, Code Enforcement Officer of the town of Plattsburgh. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the town clerk and the codes department.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Wood, is there a second?
Second.
LaFave, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 157, PCH, is that correct, Meg?
Yes.
Okay. Housing Development Release of Partial Termination of Easement for Utility Systems.
Whereas PCH Housing Development Funds Corporation Incorporated, a New York nonprofit corporation, has requested that the town of Plattsburgh enter into a partial termination and release of grant easement for utility system. And whereas James J. Coffey Esquire, the attorney for the town of Plattsburgh, has reviewed said contract, and a copy of which too is attached hereto, and considered the appropriate parties, and his judgment that the execution of said contract is in the interest of the town. Now therefore be resolved, the supervisor, Michael Cashman, is hereby authorized to execute said contract and any related documents on behalf of the town of Plattsburgh. Resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to PCH Housing Development.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Is there a second? Wood?
I think you beat me.
Second.
Second.
Do you need to abstain from this?
I can.
I'll go with Wood. Because you're on that's the board you're on, correct?
This is
Is it
a separate thing from that board, but I will abstain just to be safe.
okay, thank you. Wood, discussion?
Is that partial termination and release, or and release?
No, I looked at that too, Mike.
Where you s-
Partial termination
So,
should.
and?
Yeah.
And.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay, good.
okay. All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, and abstention. Okay, carries. Is sure resolution 158, North Country Light.
Whereas North Country Life Light Incorporated is a nonprofit, tax-exempt corporation which is responsible for all aspects of patient care by providing medical equipment, trained medical personnel, and administering medical portion utilizing New York State Police helicopter based in Saranac Lake and private fixed-wing aviation resources. Whereas New York State Police and private fixed-wing aviation resources does not provide medical trained team or medical equipment for patient transport. And whereas the people of Clinton, Essex, Franklin, Hamilton, and St. Lawrence counties receive vital emergency medical service, which is free of charge to critically ill and serious injured patients. Now therefore, municipal governments are asked to pledge monies for a worthwhile program. Now therefore be resolved that the town of Plattsburgh Town Board does hereby authorize the supervisor to enter into the contract with North Country Life Flight Incorporated for the purpose of operation of medical component of the Medevac program, which will serve the residents and visitors for the amount of $1,500, which represents the town's share for 2020. And it be further resolved that the sum of $1,500 shall be charged to the Community Service Fund account for the 2020 budget. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Caustic, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, any discussion? This has been a long time item, and this letter just comes at a particular time of year, and that's why we're doing it in this cycle, okay?
Yep.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So carries. Resolution 159, temporary season hire for sports officials in the recreation department.
Whereas the supervisors received a letter dated September 3rd, 2019 from Melanie Defiant, Youth Service and Recreation Director, requesting to hire sports officials. And whereas the Youth Service and Recreation Director recommends that all sports officials shall start on or after September 7th through October 19th, 2019. Brianna Melbury, Max Norris, Jen Toohill, Emma Caslin, Kayla Myers, Cindy Myers, Kyle McFadden, Riley Hudson, Ward Borda, Brandy Mannix, and Reagan Melville, and Roger Pitt be appointed to said positions when all verification of employment eligibility provisions have been satisfied. Whereas each person listed above will be officiating games for the town of Plattsburgh and Schuyler Falls Joint Youth Soccer League and be paid $20 per game. Now therefore be resolved, the supervisors authorized to sign all necessary documents to hire seasonal temporary help in the Park and Recreations Department, and that a certified copy of this resolution be given to the Finance Manager, Youth Director, Coolin Choing, and Clinton County Civil Service Department for personnel, final approval and filing, and a copy be placed in each one's personnel file.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Caustic, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 160, highway request for new 2020 tandem axle plow truck and equipment purchase.
Whereas the town, whereas the town of Plattsburgh Highway Department is in need of a plow truck and equipment to update its fleet. Whereas Tim Dubray, Highway Superintendent, has complied with the New York State Office of General Services procurement request for acquisition by completing a competitive mini bid process executed via New York State Vehicle Market. Now therefore be resolved to receive and place on file a letter dated September 18th from Mr. Dubay requesting permission to purchase one 2020 tandem axle plow truck and plow equipment with combination duck box pursuant to New York State Office through General Services Standard and Purchase Group Contract. And it be further resolved that a purchase of 2020 tandem axle dump truck and equipment be awarded to Charlie Boys Incorporated in Milton, Vermont, in the amount of $214,377. And it be approved and further resolved that the town board is hereby grant Mr. Dubay permission to order said truck with equipment and payment for said purchase be made payable from the 2020 budget equipment and capital outlay account as so noted, and that a copy of this resolution be given to Mr. Dubay, Highway Superintendent, and one to the accounting department.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second?
Second,
Hebert, any discussion?
I just wanna, everybody comment that, I had a chance to talk to Tim about this, but one of the things that he and Greg do in their department is that this is a competitive process, but we've got the New York State OGS mini bid. They have been very good about making sure that those steps and process are followed, only because we have obviously competitors in our community that would wanna do all this, but I gotta mention that, they're very good about following that process.
The only other thing that I would add is that the way that the schedule is out is that they're putting it out far enough so that they really won't lose almost an additional
Mhm.
year through the building process, because it takes a while for these trucks to be put together.
So, as I understand, it would be next year before we
Yep.
Yeah,
actually
All right,
get it.
We just need to take a look at the figure there too. I think there's an extra digit in there.
yeah, I know what you're saying.
perfect. I'll make the adjustment, thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. I know of a need to go into an executive session to discuss the ongoing pending litigation with the city of Plattsburgh regarding Falcon Seaboard or Saranac Power, and to discuss the work history of two specific individuals. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Costick, can I get a roll call, Rick?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Mike Cashman.
Yes, the time that we'll enter is 7:17, no action to be taken. Thank you.
Thanks, Ricky.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
Ricky, have a good evening.